Hi there, and welcome back, Heinekens, to the second module in the TradingView overview. Now, in the previous module, we would have covered how to register a free account with TradingView. And if you need to go back and watch that, there were a couple of points mentioned there. Some of the future modules will be covering the differences between the free version, which is this current account, to some of the paid versions, and we'll get into that in much more detail a little later on. However, in this session, we're going to be covering some of the chart settings and just a bit of the layout as to where everything is within TradingView. Bear in mind as well, if you do log in and you see little pop-ups like this or like this down here, now depending on whether or not you use a Mac or a PC, I'm currently on a Mac, there are some shortcuts and tips that you can use as well. So for instance, press and hold to see detailed chart values. So you click got it, and if you press and hold, it should give you the values of a specific stock or derivative or cryptocurrency on whatever the time frame is. This is the day chart for gold, and in this case, it gives you the open price, low price, etc. A few things like that. You also notice how there are a couple of little blue and white little dots or baubles. This is just telling you that this is the thing that is selected. Currently, this is, or these are the candles on the one-day chart for gold, and hence why this little box, the name of the asset, is currently highlighted. We'll be getting into more of these as we look at certain indicators and things that we're going to be adding to these charts that will then start to list down here. One of them at the moment is the free and all-inclusive one, regardless of which version of TradingView you have, whether it be free or paid, and that is volume. And that volume you can actually toggle on and off. It's not showing at the moment. There it is, right at the bottom, little dotted lines. So if we select volume, you can see, there we go. It's all very small. And what would need to happen is you would need to zoom in to where the current day is. At the moment, it pretty much stays consistent. You're going to see big differences when we start looking at cryptocurrency assets like Bitcoin, Solana, and so forth. Here's one of the other things, another little tip as well. Now, you saw me moving the chart around. Now, I'm using a trackpad on my Mac. If you have a wheelie mouse, i.e. a mouse with a wheel, you should be able to do the same thing as well. Now, what you'll see is these candles, as I'm moving my trackpad around, they kind of zoom in and zoom out. Now, you do need to get used to manipulating the candles or the charts around. Now, at the moment, you'll see that whatever the candles are, whatever the time frame, this is going back here in August. If I zoom into a few more current days, the price in terms of the high and the low will always be in frame. Now, for instance, if you wanted to do this, now I'm not sure what it would be on a PC, probably be something like Control or maybe Shift. You'd have to see. And by pressing that, I'm going to press this as a command button on a Mac, and I'm going to now use my two fingers to scroll on my trackpad. You might do it with your weenie mouse, and it's going to keep this chart in that position wherever you wanted it, right? Versus if I don't, it kind of moves around, but you're always going to see the high and the low. So by using that command button, and again, on a PC, it will be different. You at least keep everything in kind of one, kind of anchored, if anything. Now, that's just a little bit of the basics regarding the navigation, or at least the utilization of moving the charts and candles around of whatever the coin or asset is that you're looking at. Now, one of the other things as well that you can learn to do is by clicking, you see this is what we call the price axis here on the right-hand side. If you click and drag that, well, if you click it, you see a little double-headed arrow, and you can actually what we call scrunch up or flatten the chart. What you can also do over here as well, this is your x-axis or your date axis here, or time axis, depending on, again, we're on a day chart, so obviously these are all the days within August, September, and obviously onwards. So what you can do here is click and drag here, left and right, and it will do the same thing, but obviously just in terms of time. So what you can learn to do is manipulate the chart, right? So basically what I'm doing right now, I'm just going to deselect, or let's click on the chart, get rid of the baubles that were on volume. And basically what I'm doing is I'm really scrunching up this chart to see a much bigger overview, kind of like zooming out, right? Because in this way, I can go all the way back to February of last year, 2024, and have a look at things. But now what happens if, it's going to go a little extreme here, guys, because this does happen on your TradingView charts. What happens if you open a chart and all you see is this? Now, sure, you can click and drag this down and click and drag and so forth. But there are two things you can do. The one thing is you can literally double click with your left mouse button, if it's so programmed, but double click it, and it will automatically resize it for you again. Now, in this way, it's going to be what we call automated or automatic fit. And if I wanted to zoom in on today's candles, I could do so. Right now, remember you can use your command button. Whoops, use your command button and zoom at the same time, and you'll be able to move things around. But because it's been automatic, which was that double click, right? It's constricted, and I won't be able to expand the candles like this until I do. Right, so I'm just using my zoom mouse. I'm also clicking and dragging here, right? And instead of double clicking, and again, I'm going to go show the extreme example again, you can double click. Or what you can do is just click on the A, which is auto fits the data to the screen, and it does the same thing again for you. All right. So if I wanted to zoom in these today candles, I'm using my trackpad or the wheelie mouse, and I'm zooming in. But again, if I wanted to see a little bit more chart, a little less chart, a little bit more flat, again, it's no longer an automatic. Again, you can either double click or you can press that there. All right, so that's just a little bit of basic navigation around using the chart and also knowing that if you've selected this, that highlights there. If you want to see the volume will be selected there. So learn to play around with the right price axes as well as the bottom time axes as well. Learn to use your trackpad or your wheelie mouse. You can again use that anchor command key, which is command on a Mac. And again, it might be shift or control on a PC. And you can also just anchor that and zoom at the same time. But yeah, it's about getting used to and getting comfortable with moving the charts around. Again, we will be covering different time frames at later points, but get very comfortable manipulating the chart along the bottom axis and this right price axis as well. One last thing, if for instance, for any reason, your price chart or your price axis is not on the right-hand side, it might be, again, I'm going to explain this. You can right click again on your trackpad or your mouse. And what might happen is that you might actually have that scale or axis on the left-hand side. Some people like it. Most of us are very used to having the price axis on the right. So just make sure that you just move it back to the right-hand side. The rest of these, we're going to be getting into one of the next recorded modules here for HineyVersity. And until then, thanks for joining.